So mobile is indeed, well, it has a great potential in India. Everybody knows it, and it started a long way back. So yesterday, this is how you were looking at your favorite site in India. So this was kind of slow, and this was kind of ugly as well. Today, you can access your favorite website, but also your favorite mobile site and your favorite app. So what we see is that the world is changing, the full environment is completely evolving. And in India only, if you look at the number of potential users, the number of internet users in 2014, that was 300 million users. And in terms of pure sales through mobile phones, in India, 2014 again, this was already 41%. This is absolutely massive, even compared to the rest of the countries, the emerging countries in Southeast Asia. So also some very interesting data are the fact that the e-commerce industry is growing very fast, from $22 billion in 2014, estimated in 2018 at 86 billion. That's 400% growth. What more can you get? So generally speaking, I would say the good news is you are in the right industry, basically. But there are some issues, well, symbolized by the big bomb there. The issues I see are coming from mobile advertising. The first issue, I think, is that it's very hard to retain customers. And it's increasingly harder because of the fact that they are on multiple devices. Well, on average, they are on 3 devices. They all have mobile site, website, and they can access it from a tablet. So obviously, they are going to be harder to interest. And the competition, your direct competition, is going to be increasingly harder and fierce for each platform. So you're going to face, of course, the typical players coming on the same platform and investing as well as you, at the same time as you. But you will also have, for example, app-only competitors who will go in your space, and they will invest massively in order to get, and probably they have a better team at understanding how an app works. And finally, another problem I see is that it's extremely complicated and increasingly difficult to have seamless browsing experience as a user across all the devices. And the only way so far is for you if the user logs in at some point of time on all the devices, which is obviously not the right solution. The second issue is that despite whatever we are saying, mobile advertising is kind of slow to pick up. So I was selling mobile advertising 9 years ago in Southeast Asia, and by that time they were all saying that that was it. That was the real start and everything was fine. It was absolutely not right. We couldn't use Flash on mobile, and there was no equivalent of a URL for the apps. So now we have some new standards coming, like HTML5. We have deep linking. The deep linking solution is kind of problematic because your technical team needs to be on top of it and understands all the constraints behind it. And the third issue, and that's particularly true in India, is the fact that app downloads are just not enough. So I know that some advertisers have decided in India to go after app only. So straight, instead of going to the mobile site, you're redirected to the app downloads. This is something that is completely possible. The only problem is that you're going to face the problem of the users dropping your apps. And the reason behind that is because the apps, and that's again very true in India, the apps are kind of slow compared to what you have on the laptop, on desktop. So because of this, and because the users are really impatient, they just don't want to spend too much time in the app. So the latency is definitely the number one issue, but also the fact that they are changing their devices constantly. And finally, I would say something else that we need to take into account is the network. And the network in India is sometimes quite unstable. So your users will definitely drop, and when they drop, they can either never come back or they can delete the app. And if they do, well, you start to be in trouble. So I will always say something to my advertisers. I'll say keep calm and optimize. I think that's the only way to do this. So we do have some solutions at Criteo. Just to explain you very quickly, so to take a step back, what Criteo does is dynamic retargeting. So we do performance display ads, but we provide this and we specialize in retargeting. We do this on desktop, social, mainly Facebook, mobile web, and in application. But where it gets interesting is that, and Ashwin was mentioning something, he was mentioning that WeGo is really interested in addressing the right user at the right time, at the right, with the right ad. This is exactly why we have built the engines that we currently have at Criteo. So we build recommendation engines and prediction engines to know exactly how to follow the users without basically bothering them too much. So we don't bother them, and we show them some ads that are not intrusive because we recommend the products a bit like think about it like you may also like these products. So we do this in banners, and we do this in HTML5 banners for the apps. And we provide real-time reporting as well, so that you can check all the metrics and understand where the campaign is going. But going deeper into actual solutions to the previous issues I mentioned, the first one is clearly in-app. So we do have a solution available, which is in-app personalized dynamic retargeting. So how does that work? The user will visit the app and is going to browse through the products in the application. We're going to identify this user using IDFA, and we're going to, because we want exact match, right? We want it to be 100%. And we're going to follow the user in the next app is going to open, as long as we partner with this app. And we will display a banner, an HTML5 banner, but the good thing here is that this HTML5 banner is going to be dynamic. So this means that we can still recommend the products. So we can plug in the algorithms that we have created. And why we do this? It's because we can then push back the user to the app, into the app, and if deep linking is available, we can make sure that the user will go straight to the product page and convert. So here, this solution is perfect, I would say, to re-engage the users and to make sure that they convert. So again, this game is not only about downloads, it's much more than that. Downloads will bring you satisfaction maybe from the investors, but ultimately down the line, that's not something that you want to look at only. And cross-device is the second solution. So in this example, the user starts on desktop, or laptop in this case, and is going to browse to the products he likes. And then the next step is going to open his the mobile site. And we are able to recognize the same user exactly, 100% exact match again. And we can make sure that we propose the right products to this user so that he converts directly on the mobile site. And this is something that is probably, at this point of time, not really considered by most of the advertisers in India. And this is something that we are advocating in Southeast Asia, generally speaking. Why? Because we noticed, by looking at all the advertisers we work with, we noticed that whenever the user starts the journey on desktop, we have an incremental value of sales of 30%. So think about that as hidden conversions on other desktop and over mobile. But if the user starts the journey from mobile, it's even more dramatic. So the increase will be 60%. So 60% of hidden sales coming from other desktop or other mobile. So as you can see, 60% is pretty massive for an advertiser, and you need to make sure that you understand exactly how the user buys online and on your site. So just to conclude, it's definitely not enough to just market on PC and on mobile. What I think is needed at this point of time in order to go further in reaching the users, first is a very strong cross-device solution where you can actually follow the users in their entire journey, not just on desktop or not just on mobile. And the second part is in-app retargeting, because that way you can re-engage the users and you can boost the conversions. And something else that you can do with Criteo is that you can go after lapsed visitors, even for in-application, even for applications. So you can go after them for a very long period of time, even after they have completely forgotten about your app, and even after they have downloaded your competitor's app. That's it for me. I would like to thank you very much. And if you have time and interest, you can download the State of Mobile Commerce. This is a presentation by Criteo. You have the link there. And of course, you can just reach me, not especially on email, but you can just come and we can have a chat just after this. Thank you very much.